Yeah, man.
One of my favorite moments on this project was the valuable interlude.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about like self-worth. Mm-hmm. And I'm big on self-love.
Absolutely.
So, how did you pull yourself out of the dark place? Or if you were in a dark place, how did you get yourself out of that dark place to be able to put this on record? Because I feel like a lot of artists, they're not vulnerable like that. So I think that's why this is one of my favorite interludes ever, by the way. Like, wow. Ever. Because
I'm glad you said that. I was really nervous about that. I was like, "Oh, this is really mushy, and I don't know how this will be received." But it just felt like, one, I needed something to tie the project together. Mm-hmm. And that was the only way I can could describe what really made me like finish the album. Like that's how I was feeling about all of it. Mm-hmm. But we talked about me moving back to San Marcos, and I was like really depressed. Yeah. Like I was that like I don't know if anybody else felt that way after COVID, like trying to come out of the pandemic, and it was just really, really rough. And trying to adjust to life after, and it was just really, really bad. Like that was my first time being alone and not in like school. Like I'm a big boy now. Like I got big boy bills. I'm not used to this. Like,
sitting with yourself. Sitting with your thoughts.
Sitting with myself. Sitting with my thoughts. In an apartment all by myself. No furniture. Just in the living room. In the dark. But come home from work, and I was just like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't have the language for it. Like I would just come in, and I wouldn't even get fully undressed. I would just lay down until the next day. Wow. And just get up and try to put myself together as best as I could to go back into work. Yeah. And it was really, really hard. Like I would have moments of enjoyment when I'm like performing or going to a show. But I wouldn't even stay. Like you can ask my friends, I wouldn't even stay after I got done performing. They would want me to hang out, and I'm like, nah, I got something to do. I'm going back to the house and just sitting around in the dark. And there were a couple of things that really like pulled me out of that place. Of course, I'm a really big gym person, so I was going to the gym a lot more, and just really throwing myself in that vein, finding an actual church family and church friends, because I mean I've said this a couple of times already, but I'm a church boy at heart. And that was a period of time where I was like not really as involved in church, and it didn't feel right, but I just didn't have the motivation to do it. So I really had to force myself to like get out there, really lean on God a lot more, and trust Him to put people in my life to help pull me out of that place. Mainly because I wasn't gonna be able to do that by myself. Like had it not been for the people around me and me actually having like the smidget of vulnerability to say, y'all, this shit is hard. And I'm not really feeling life right now. Like I'm not feeling life to the point where I don't want to be here. And I didn't have that conversation with a lot of people, but the couple of people that I did have it with, like they really helped. And I mean, people see me now and they're like, you seem a lot happier. I'm like, I am, opening up every time I get the chance to, and if I feel safe enough to talk about like those times, that helps. Vulnerability is really what helps you get out of that place for real. And it's so funny that you mentioned like that interlude is very vulnerable, but that's literally what did it. Like the couple of times that I was able to sit down and talk to people and say, I feel like X, Y, and Z, and I don't know what to do about it. Cool. Just come over and hang out. Like you don't even have to do nothing. Or next time you go somewhere, invite me. So you don't feel so weird, being in those situations. But that was a really rough time. And I think that when I first started writing this project, like I said, there were a couple of songs that did not make the project.
When you told me that, I was like, man, like
I have to hear these.
I was like,
where are they? Where's the flash drive? Where is it?
Listen, I honestly don't think y'all would, after hearing the way the project turned out, those 2 or 3 tracks that I started but didn't finish would have put this project in an entirely different like lane and place.
Yeah.
Because it was really like, remember, I started writing this while I was like sitting in the dark. And a couple of those tracks was just like, you know,
Yo, that's crazy.
a few like a few of those are really just like raw, and I was really finna come out the gate like swinging on some really, and I kind of did still, but it was really like from a raw, sad place. It was almost like Brent Faiyaz-ish a little bit. Love Brent, but sometimes I can't turn him off.
I feel where you coming from.
Listen, I'm with y'all.
Yeah, it gets in that, he kind of in that toxic R&B
Super
lane.
toxic.
I love it when it's time for it. But it's not always time for it.
Yeah. Nah, I feel that, man.
No, that's amazing because just the fact that like when you had mentioned that you had to reach out to people to see who could help. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help. Yeah, and I think a lot of people will sit in a stage of depression or whatever it is that they're going through, and because they're afraid to ask for help. Yeah. So, and a lot of people don't understand either, like how important it is to do things for yourself. Like, like that's what self-love. I think people think self-love is like getting up and putting on a face mask, but it's not. It's literally like going to the gym, like making sure you're eating healthy and giving yourself time to focus on your hobbies and what you love. Exactly. So I love that, man.
I think the one thing that I noticed, like especially at the end of last year going into this year, was like, dang, of course I'm in Austin. All of my people out here. Yeah. I got a few friends out there, but I didn't really have anybody there. My life is so multifaceted and so many things happen. And it's like I'm taking all these gut punches, you know, I'm just taking that shit on the chin. And I'm not really giving myself the opportunity to really like talk about those things. Yeah. You know? And there's only like one person who I could pick up the phone and call and vent. And if I could be honest, she got a lot going on too. Wow. You know? So it was just like I need somebody. Yeah. I need something. And I made it a point to I know everybody has been on like this really big mental health wave, so I don't want this to turn into that. And sometimes it sounds like really performative, but I will say like I found a therapist. And it really did help, mainly because when you do so much, and y'all know this. When you, like I said, you doing a lot and things happen. You're not always able to react in the moment. Sometimes your problems aren't self-imposed. Your problems are imposed on you by other people. And it's like it's not your problem, but it's your thing to fix.
Right, man.
And how do you deal with that? And you have to do so much. And it's like, if I don't have nobody to talk to, this shit is heavy. I need to find somebody to talk to. Right. And sometimes my therapist isn't always just like sitting with a pen and a pad and diagnosing me. A lot of our sessions are like, just talk to me and tell me what's going on. And it feels like I'm finally having my moment to talk about some of the stuff that have been impacting me here and here. And a lot of us don't get that opportunity. So even if you like just need somebody to talk to and get that shit off your chest, find you a therapist for that reason.
Absolutely.
Don't think that you just need to find a therapist so they can tell you X, Y, and Z is wrong. And my therapist is not my life fixer. He is somebody who I can listen to, and he gonna give me a couple of suggestions. And we gonna talk about it the next week. He is my biggest cheerleader. Like I did not think I would ever find that in a therapist. But all of my decisions with the music, with the job, in my professional life, he is literally always there, like rooting me on in the way that I needed it to happen. And that really helped me out a lot too.
Man, that's